Morning, 8:28 time for the Morning Bell. Business news got a little twist that only Stephanie Bell can give you.
Well, I think we've all been feeling the pinch as of late, but officially the facts are in, and folks are delaying their big purchases, trying to reduce their debt. A recent poll said 76% of adults are making lifestyle changes to prepare for a recession, and I think we probably knew that.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see the shopping numbers because a lot of people, we're getting ready to face down Christmas, and that's an expensive time for a lot of people. And but you can,
Property taxes.
yeah, you can dial that
Oh,
back if you need to. So I think a lot of how people are feeling about the economy might show up in those Christmas shopping numbers. And then I saw a tweet, and I haven't had time to fact check this morning, but they said Zillow is kind of changing in the last couple of days and saying, hey, maybe housing prices aren't going to slump like we thought they were. And that seems, in my mind, and maybe again I'm it's not conspiracy, but does it coincide with the fact that maybe we do think a red wave is coming? And so is this survey now already old news? Because I think if we get a red wave, if we get more pro-business people in there, if we get people in there who are going to reduce government restrictions and burdens to where maybe our economy can flourish again, I think people are going to be a lot more optimistic. So I would cast some doubt on this survey right now because, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when we thought D's were going to take over, I would say yes, but I would say we need to redo this because I think with the red wave, people are going to be much more optimistic about the future.
and that's the twist that we talk about in the Morning Bell. Business news, Stephanie Bell. Listener texted, say, man, I haven't talked to y'all in like 6 months. We asked him how come, and he says fatigue on politics. I said, well, good news, because we're going to talk about commercial human composting coming up 5 minutes from now.
not going to be very beneficial, and it's going to be a waste of money, not a savings. People will, with more hearing loss, will get them and say, oh, hearing aids don't work. Meanwhile, it wasn't that the hearing aid wasn't working, it was inappropriate for them.
That's audiologist Dr. Cindy Madrosic talking to our news partners at ABC 17. So a couple of months ago, he said over-the-counter, you'll be able to get hearing aids over-the-counter.
Huh?
Uh-huh. Huh? What? What did you say?
My dad always does that to me when I tell him to put his hearing aids in.
Well, and I might actually like to hear from your dad on this. So I know when this came out, and Randy Tobler, host of the Randy Tobler Show, weekdays 4 to 6, happens to be a doctor. Now, that's not the part of the body that he specializes in. He's not an audiologist. But hearing his take on that kind of stuff has been kind of But I'm paying attention. So now apparently you can go out and buy these things. So they approved them, and I guess they're getting close, or maybe they're out on the market. Some of them as low as $200. But I'm paying attention now because, so I hear okay. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. It was how much I've been socializing recently. It's not really socializing. It's stuff on behalf of the radio
Flirting.
station. No.
Flirting.
Going to things. But one of the reasons I don't, and I joke because I'm not a big fan of socializing. I am kind of shy. But the other thing that happens is when I'm in these events where there's a bunch of people, I have a hard time having conversations with people when there's background. I mean, I have to really look and read lips, and even if there's I can't hear, and so I'm thinking about these.
Yeah, I've been with folks before, and it's weird because there's still like a stigma around wearing hearing aids, and I've been with people before, and I've had a private conversation like, are they mad? Are they upset? Are they having a bad day? And it was not that. It was that they're not engaging in the conversation because they can't hear what you were saying. And so they it's not that they were uninterested or mad. It's that they can't hear. And so, and I still, it's weird because, other things, you glasses, go get your glasses.
Yeah.
If you can't
Take
see.
care of yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And so I do kind of like the fact that they are over the counter, and maybe that will take away some of the, because I think people they don't want to admit, but we've all walked into a house and the TV's up on like level 72 and you're like, oh my gosh, why is this so loud? And I like the idea that maybe, you'd feel more comfortable going, and just picking it up like you picked up some Tylenol.
But you're exactly right, because my dad, he gets on my case every time. I saw him a couple weeks ago, and he's like, and I'm telling him how difficult it is to go to, because here's what, I was at a great event Saturday night for True North, and we're at the Blue Note, and I'm and everybody's having conversations, and most of the time, and this is true, I just end up going, uh-huh. And I don't know what somebody could be saying, Branden, you're an uneducated idiot, and I'd be going, uh-huh, giving a thumbs up to that, because you know what I mean, Marsh? Because I just simply cannot hear what people. That's why I don't like going to movies. Yeah. Because I think my thing is, like, I can't hear, everything's real bassy to me. So, like, on my radio, I have to increase the treble.
I wish I had $1 for every time I've heard you say it's too bassy.
Where's
how
the
many
song?
dollars I would have?
We need that "It's All About the Bass" song bumping in the back right now. Hannah. But John, I think you're right, and I know, I've having my kids around. Sometimes I have to hush them when we know we're around folks with hearing aids, because I know, the sound can be really sensitive. So you can have it up so you can hear normal conversations, and one of my kids shrieks, and it's real loud. And so I do think that people should, I'm a professional services provider, and I'm like, people should consult an attorney. But I do probably think, even if you get these over-the-counter hearing aids, you should probably consult your physician, right, about these things, because you don't want to make it worse, or and they can be sensitive.
Nice. So I think you're right, where I might be willing, instead of, doing the sensible thing, which is to go to a doctor and get my hearing tested. But why I won't go? Because I'm afraid of the answer that I'll get.
Right.
I don't want to go. So these here, I guess, I don't know if they're out on the stores now. And I don't know what aisle they're in. Where do you put that? And like if you're going to Schulte's and they have, they got the toothpaste and 874-9390. Wake Up Mid-Missouri. Stephanie Bell, John Marsh, producer Hannah, Brian Houseworth. My name is Branden Rathert. Thank you for being here. Rob, welcome into the show. What is on your mind?
You guys are always entertaining and educating. I got to hand it to you again this morning, even with hearing aids. But my 2 cents is, as John Marsh said, there's a lot of buyer beware stuff because there's a lot of just amplifiers out there, I know from experience, and they can actually cause more harm than good.
Because the amplifiers, in your experience, all they do, those are like putting little miniature speakers inside of your ears and cranking up the volume. That's the way I understand those.
Yes.
Okay.
All they're doing is they just take all the volume and raise it. So if all you need is help with high frequencies and you get an amplifier, you're getting all the stuff you don't want amplified too. So most of the time, over-the-counter is probably not going to work. But I understand everybody's concern about, I don't want to go there because somebody's going to tell me bad news like you said, Branden.
Right. Rob, let me ask you this. How old are you?
How old am I? Well, she's about 66.
Well, Rob, I appreciate that. The reason I'm asking your age, and we appreciate you being a part of Wake Up Mid-Missouri. So I'm 51, and so I don't know if it's just a guy thing. Do all guys? I mean, does every guy go, hey, honey, my hearing's not so good. I'm going to go to the doctor and make an appointment, get it straightened out. I don't think that's how those conversations go. Now, I don't know because I don't have a wife, but it's that human.
We know.
Had two
we
of
know.
them. But it's not something guys want to do. It's a guy thing. I think it's.
I think women, for the same reason. I mean, there's just still a stigma around it, and I think a lot of women don't want to have to wear here because you can see like they've gotten a lot better, but it can. I mean, I could hide it with my hair. You don't really have that option, but I think for women too, and I think for a lot of people, it signifies maybe aging. And so for a lot of people, it's nagging of their kids, like, hey, mom and dad, you really should go get your hearing checked, or their spouse, hey, I'm tired of shouting from across the room. And eventually they're so worn down by all the nagging that maybe they'll go. But I don't know, we don't do that with glasses.
It cracks me up because when Branden's dad is in the studio, they both have this similar hearing issues. And the mannerisms that they have when they can't hear are hilarious. Like one, they'll cup their hand over their ear, or they'll kind of look at you and go, what was that? And lean in, with their head angled, trying to get the good ear, I guess, pointed the right direction. But they both do it, and sometimes they do it at the same time, and it's really entertaining.
Man, I have become my father. Everybody says as men, and I guess as new women, you become your mothers. Do people tell you you're going to be okay?
For sure.
Yeah. Are you seeing it yet that you're turning into your mother, Hannah?
Yes.
How so?
I don't know. Well, my fiance reminds me all the time. Just things that I say or do sometimes. He looks at me and he's like, that was your mom.
Steph?
Yeah, I have a whole pantry full of expired food and expired medications, and I used to give my mom so much grief about traveling with her favorite pillow, and now if I'm going to a hotel, I pack my pillow because I'm an old lady.
Because John, these are things as teens, as kids, we would complain, Mom, that's so uncool. Why you bringing your own pillow to the thing? And now you're the one doing it.
Yep.
874-9390. Kathy, welcome to Wake Up Mid-Missouri. What's on your mind today?
Hi, the hearing aid thing. It really kind of saddens me in a way to think that they're offering these people because they really are just amplifiers. It's going to amplify everything that you hear. It's not going to make you understand certain consonants or certain tones, which you would get with a better pair of hearing aids and a hearing test, where they can tell what it is you really need help with. I have hearing aids, and when I had my first test, and I got them when I was probably 60, they said, have you had a lot of ear infections? And I said, well, growing up, yes, I do remember that, but, back then we didn't do anything for earaches. It wasn't such a thing as an ear infection. So They kind of went, I guess, undetected, which was part of my hearing loss. But I'm telling you, well worth the money. First day I put them in, it was amazing.
Let me ask you this, Kathy. How long have you been using hearing aids now?
Probably about 10 years.
10 years. And so it made a world of difference. Did your doctor tell you, like, you had, okay, like I don't hear high tones or bassy sounds? Do you know what it was for you?
Yes, exactly. They're also computerized right now, which is why the cost is up. But still, you get what you pay for. It's well worth the money. I wish insurance covered more of hearing aids instead of just putting them out there for $200 for people that are going to buy them and put them in their drawer and never wear them. That's what my dad did. And he went, over-the-counter type stuff or as seen on TV, and they just don't work.
And this is a new one on me, but this makes sense. So the other thing, and I know we joke a lot, but like it's been a concern. I've brought this up to my doctor more than once, and Hannah and Steph will get my back. Like sometimes I don't understand. And somebody said something about your hearing as it relates, and I'm getting this wrong probably, but your brain doesn't process stuff it's supposed to be processing because you're not hearing properly. Did you get smarter after your hearing got better? I guess that's my question, Kathy.
Well, I don't know. I wish I could say yes.
Okay.
I'm brilliant now, but
hey,
I've never heard that.
Well, you're listening to Wake Up Mid-Missouri, which makes me think that you're pretty active in what's going on and you care about what's happening. So I'm guessing you're a pretty smart woman. Kathy, we appreciate you, okay?
Okay, thanks.
All right. Coming up a few minutes from now.
Here's a big old serving of leftovers. Enjoy.
All right, some of the things that we haven't had a chance to get to on the show today, but first back to the hearing. So hearing aids over the counter, and we've had several people already say, so I guess they're available now as low as $200. I know it was approved back in the summer, and some folks got excited, and I don't know how they work. I don't know if they're just amplifying sound. For somebody like me, that would not work because I know it's specific sounds. The specific...
Can I guess? Can I guess?
Yeah.
I hear you whine all the time about it's too bassy. I can't hear it.
When things get, we even have callers sometimes, like, and Hannah will see me because, like, I take the headphones and I have to squish them against my ears. Because,
like that's gonna do anything.
Yeah, because I can't hear bassy sounds. So amplification of sound wouldn't do anything for me. But the idea is certainly entertaining. It's like, just go to hearing aid consultants. I'm guessing, John, that's the big takeaway. Really? Yeah.
So, how were your results, if you don't mind sharing?
Well, how many years ago was that? Okay, all right. And can we quote you on that? She called you borderline, I think is what I'm quoting you.
I think you guys should go together, you and Branden both.
By the way, Justin, thanks, Justin, who's catching a few minutes of the live stream from northern Italy this morning. That off
Jealous.
The text.
Look at us.
874-9390. Worldwide. And Tad says, you know why men don't go and get hearing aids? Because then they won't have to listen to their wives nag anymore. Maybe they intentionally don't want to
brother.
hear.
I could believe it, actually.
Sorry, honey, I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on. But it is a real thing, I think, with the hearing. I see my dad, my grandfather. My grandfather, I don't know, he was like 86, 87 years old when he died, but probably almost 30 years before he had poor hearing. My dad's got poor hearing. My grandfather used to love and sit around the radio and listen to Cardinals baseball and read the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, travel and all that stuff, and watch TV occasionally. But even later in the guy, he'd done everything in life he ever wanted to do. His wife, my grandmother, was dead, but he couldn't hear Cardinal baseball. He couldn't hear, and he would get just frustrated because you can't take part in situations and going out. That's my excuse. Going out in social situations, well, I can't hear. I'm a social butterfly, but I can't hear. That's why I don't enjoy these events. But I would imagine.
You've been enjoying yourself.
I have been enjoying myself, actually. So anyhow, over the counter. Anybody got anything interesting we were going to talk about human composting, like literally, but we should cover this tomorrow because there's a lot more to this. Yeah, what you got for leftovers, bud? So another thing from the Chiefs game over the weekend making news, and it wasn't on the field. What happened here? Yeah. Yeah. Man, hopefully, folks, maybe community members in Iberia and folks around lakes, maybe they'll come together and try to help those folks out. And who would steal it? Because, I'm guessing you put on an APB. Have you seen pictures of this van? Yeah. Kind of hard to miss. All right.
Inconspicuous.
Tomorrow on the show, talking Missouri politics with Scott Fahn. John Schneider. Was he Bo Duke or Luke Duke? One of Luke brothers. He does a bunch of other stuff nowadays. He's joining us back here on the show tomorrow. My dad's getting excited. Gary Nolan show coming up just minutes from now. See ya.
Bye.